Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear. Thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raising. Yes.
Hello and welcome to the EverCast show, episode number 46, which we've titled A New Day Breaks. We are EverCast. We are a landmark in EverQuest Next podcast. We also talk a little bit of other MMO news, and we want to connect gamers with the games they play. I'm one of your hosts, Hanlon. With me are 3 other normal hosts, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi guys, I'm Celeste.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm new, but you'll soon learn that I'm awful.
You're a waffle?
Awful.
Oh, no, you're not an awful. I prefer you to be a waffle. Yeah, who doesn't
I like
waffle?
pancakes better.
I like French toast.
French toast is basically the best.
Yeah.
Of both worlds.
Oh, hi, I'm Flat. I'm Flatus. Hi. In case everybody's wondering, usually everybody asks what I'm drinking tonight. Tonight I'm drinking birthday cake, vineyards, cheesecake, white wine, specialty. This tastes like liquid cheesecake. It is delicious, and this is my whole bottle, and I'm drinking it right out of the bottle. There you go.
Is that a wine? They call that a wine?
Yeah.
So my birthday is in just like 6 days, so if anybody wants to send me a bottle of that, I would be okay with that.
This is 11% alcohol per volume.
Woo!
This is going to be a spicy show.
Okay, I'd like to amend my intro. I'm not as awful as Flatus.
It's only 4 minutes in.
It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show.
And you just woke up too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Crawls out of bed, starts hitting the sauce.
Oh, jeez. My life's one big party. Everybody in chat, right? Like 49 people in chat right now. They're all like, if you're new to this show, welcome. If you're not new to this show, you're used to it.
Hello, yeah, if you're new, normally this is about how things go. We get a little crazier from here. I'll try to keep the wheels on the bus, but I don't promise anything.
Shout out to Dylan Nom Nom. Flatus, I love you. I'm your biggest fan. Please notice me in chat.
All right, Senpai notices you, Dylan Nom Nom.
All right. So before I turn it over to eCast News, do you guys have anything that you'd like the audience to know about to bring them up to date on what you're doing? What's going on?
I have a cold.
I'm still waiting on hear back from my almost future employer. Once my background check gets back, then yeah, I officially have a job.
Okay, so I was wondering
Hopefully they don't
about
watch podcasts.
that.
Yeah, right.
Is this the swing shift one?
Yeah, the 6 to 3. Yeah. So
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. You were already working and you were preparing your body for the change
I'm
to swing
prepared.
shift.
No, I'm trying to prepare my body now for that.
Oh, that's what okay, good.
So that when I do start, I'm just like, my body's ready, and I start working. And that's.
I'm sure you don't just do the whole that my body is ready for work.
Not when I walk in.
Woo!
So we have a whole slate of ECAST news going on today. Part of it is probably going to be the chief topic of the show. Well, not probably. It is going to be the chief topic of our show, which is that, I mean, if you haven't been living under a tree and you need to know this from us and nowhere else, Sony Online Entertainment is no more. They were sold by Sony, their parent company, and they were purchased by an investment group, Columbus Nova, I believe is the name. And they've rebranded themselves. They are now Daybreak Game Studio. Daybreak Games, something like that. Daybreak is definitely in there. Games are definitely in there.
Daybreak Games Company LLC.
There you go. We'll get to talking about that later on. So we got a whole bunch of other ECAST news going on. The other bit of news is that Joystick and Massively both got shut down during this week. And that's pretty huge in MMO news because they were a fairly reliable vehicle for getting news out about game companies. The Massively crew, and I haven't looked about the Joystick crew, but the Massively crew has come together and they're doing a Kickstarter. They've reached their first Kickstarter goals, so now they're working on their stretch goals. But they're going to try and keep it going as Massively OP at massivelyop.com. So that's a bit of MMO news going on in the world. The second bit, if you're not watching Landmark live when they do it live or or on YouTube when they release it, like the next day, you really owe it to yourself to do it. Dave Georgeson said they have a few items that they're ticking off of their blueprint for Landmark. Once those items are done, they're going to push Landmark into their open beta. When they go into open beta on Landmark, they're shifting their entire focus back onto EverQuest Next. And the only things that you'll see in Landmark are the things that they want to test out for EverQuest Next. And I think I've said it a couple of times now. If you want to see the systems of EverQuest Next, play Landmark.
And that's going to include little humans too, and big humans, and mounts.
The mounts thing is pretty exciting because we hadn't heard that before, but it's one of the things
and little humans.
But see, that's the thing is when they were talking big humans and little humans, Dave said that wasn't. They just want to give you a different frame for your human because right now all of the men have one frame and all of the women have one frame. You can choose hair color, facial hair for the men, and skin tone. But when it comes to the build of your character's body, there's only one available, and so they're going to add in a couple of different templates for that. But yes, they did say that when they are ready to test mounts in EverQuest Next as they're building the game, they're going to throw them into Landmark because it makes sense for them to test it in a system that they have available for players and work out all the kinks and then have it ready for EverQuest Next. So yes, Landmark Live, definitely worth catching. There's a new e-novel out. And I just want to let you guys all know that we will be talking about the new ebook next week. No complaining about spoilers. It's been out for a week and a half now. You'll have another week. Don't watch the show. Well, watch the show, but no whining about spoilers. If you watch next week's show and you haven't read the book, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna talk about what's in the book.
You've all been warned.
Yes, and Shylock Stargard said in chat, and he is absolutely right, that one of the things that has come out of the by the purchase of now Daybreak is that there is no SOE Live this year. Brass said that they are going to have to focus on the other part of the company now that they've got basically new ownership stuff or whatever. I don't know, but no SOE Live. That doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen. I'm going to try and give you the Facebook group that has been created, and because the community, the funny thing about it is that SOE Live started out as a fanfare put on by the fans, and that is what's going to happen this year. They're going to try and get everybody to Vegas in August sometime and do the same sort of thing. It just won't be sponsored by SOE Live, or it won't be sponsored by SOE. I will have the link in just a second. Yeah. Or if somebody else has the link, they can throw it in there.
Shinter just did the Project Fanfare.
Yay,
Awesome!
Shinter!
Thank you, Shinter.
Yeah. And it didn't know, or you're newer to the whole Daybreak SOE thing. Fanfares are what happened way before there were SOE Lives. This is when EverQuest's 1999, year after EverQuest came out, fans kind of put together meetups to meet guild members and stuff like that. And that's where, if you look up old like fanfare videos on YouTube, which you can find some, they're old, like they're really old quality, but you'll see Brass before Brass even had a job at SOE or at Daybreak Games or / former SOE Live or SOE. In her brassness, still the beard and everything. She's come a long way with the whole dwarf costume thing. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Apparently, I'm quiet. A bit. I could speak really loud if you want.
No, I got you turned up.
Woo!
All right, so that was it for ECast news. Unless you guys have any last minute things to throw in there before we switch over to the oh my god. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna throw it out there. Daybreak. Is the sky falling? Are you like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever? Where are you guys at?
I'm okay.
There's a reason to panic? I didn't think there was a reason to panic.
It's change.
Holy shit, there's change! Oh my god! No, I'm totally fine. We're good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that this is probably one of the best things that could happen to SOE. And we can go when we get to like the good stuff part. I'll talk at length about like, oh my god, this is cool for them because now this, and now it's cool for them because of this, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think we're all in agreement here, right? That this is like a good thing. This is not bad,
No,
even though it's change.
Only the weak fear change.
Sorry, I wasn't hitting the right button. I saw somewhere that I don't remember where it was now, but it said something like that. The company that bought them has more resources and money available to them, so they'll actually be able to like throw more resources at the games they make. And if that's true, I'm all for it. Give them more money. They're doing great.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that I am honestly waiting to see is an interview with Smedley from a reputable news magazine, not an MMO news magazine, but any sort of traditional media that wants to interview Smedley and talk to him about it, because this is a pretty big shakeup. And there was the post on the official forums, which was copied to Reddit, which was copied, everywhere, but it's and then he tweeted out a little bit more. But I want him to answer some of the questions that to get some serious answers. I mean, I also want him to do like a Reddit AMA, like where we get to ask him whatever we want. But I think that to fully understand, we're going to need some sort of like real interview done, and I expect that it's coming. I'm really waiting to see it.
I agree with you. I think that things like this happen for a few reasons. One, you kind of want to control your product. Let's not forget Activision Blizzard did the same thing. They bought themselves out. Granted, they're a bigger company and have more money, so they could afford to buy themselves out and become an independent developer. In case you didn't know, they are an indie developer because they're not owned by anybody. So it's good if Sony, the parent company, wasn't supplying the funds or giving SOE what they needed to make the games they wanted to make, they're always going to be held back. And as a player of SOE games, and a lot of the people in chat that play SOE games, we can all kind of admit, to some extent, that we feel like some of the games are lacking things. Like, they're good, but they just don't have that extra thing. Like, it's like there's something missing. There's quality of life things that are missing.
And not only that, but it's like nobody wants to take a chance just in case they might fail because they try something different.
That too. I mean, let's get something right here. Like, since 2003, Smedley's been promising like a mobile authenticator for SOE, and has not been released yet. I hope this is something that we can get in 2015. Even Rift has a mobile authenticator, and
that
like,
yeah, and so I was just, Flatus and I were talking a little bit before the show started, and I was like, I was pretty bored yesterday afternoon, and I was thinking about like what I could do with my time. And so I loaded up Rift, and then I downloaded Defiance. And I want to talk about Defiance here in a minute. But the thing that I noticed about when I logged into those games is that Treon now has the same sort of thing that Blizzard and Steam have, where you have one launcher and it shows you all of the games that they have available. And as a free to play, Treon has a lot of free to play games that I didn't even know about. And they also have their store, the other games that they have plastered right there. And I thought that, like, Sony / Daybreak, they need to have this. They need to have this sort of technology where it's like, hey, if you like our game that's this game, you should check out all of our other games. So when people like me are sitting around on a Saturday afternoon, they can be like, oh, hey, that one looks pretty interesting. Let me check it out further. Because if you're familiar with PlayStation with PlanetSide 2, you might not know that they just launched H1Z1. Not that I know how you could miss that, but that just as theoretically, it's a first-person shooter sci-fi game versus a first-person shooter survival MMO. Like, you need to be able to see those together and see that they're both Sony products. And I thought that the fact that Daybreak / Sony doesn't have their own launcher type this, and Treon has it, and Steam has it, and Blizzard has had it for a while, this is a huge disadvantage. And I think that like Blizzard was a little slow on getting their launcher started, but they were ahead of the game when now you can see, like, you can talk to all of your friends in any of their games because they have one login system at the battle.net. So, I saw Poro was in channel earlier. I'm going to throw her name out. When I'm playing Warcraft, I can see that Poro is playing Hearthstone and somebody else might be playing Heroes of the Storm. And I can I can shout out to everybody of my friends and be like, hey, I'm going to try and do this. Who can help me out? And there's that your friends have this gaming community, and you don't all have to be playing the same game at the same time and still have like some sort of cohesion. That's my bit of a rant. Like, this is what Daybreak acquisition needs to do. They need to bring SOE into how game developed companies look in 2015.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. They have all these games. I would like to see like a desktop app like Blizzard has. I would like to see an authenticator. I would like to see these things. It's not they're not difficult to produce. They should have the funds now. We don't know. We don't know if those funds need to be directed towards the game development side right now. If they're lacking there, I would like to see those things. But if it's gonna hurt gameplay, I'd rather see the money go towards development. But if they can spare a few ducats, toonies, loonies, whatever you want to call them at this point, monies, into those things, please. Okay. Cheesecake on top. I don't care. I will buy. Somebody please get that happening, because it's time. It's time. I mean,
You went quiet.
I know, sorry. I'm very excited that they're going to be hopefully developing games for like Xbox One and stuff like that soon. So hopefully that'll open up their sphere of money-making capabilities. So, yay! But I agree with you. I think that it's time to stop the 2003, like 2003 SOE, or like break the daybreak. Like look at the future, look at what other companies are doing, and say like, how can we get on that board and start making it, turning us into like a modern day company. You're new, and look at like Tryon. Like you said, they have their own their own little desktop app, and Blizzard has one. I mean, like
yeah, and
it's
I left ArcAge off of that because ArcAge is published by Tryon in North America. So when you launch that when you log in to play RIP, which is a free to play game, you also see that they have ArcAge available, which is a free to play game.
Yeah.
And when you're a free to play developer of games like Daybreak /SOE, you want people to see the variety that you have. So just that not off chance that like, I need a little bit of break from this game. What else can I play? And there they all are.
Absolutely. And their other games aren't bad. Like EQ2's fun. I played. I'm on Butcher Block with Thomas and Chewy and Shinter. I mean, we try to get people over there sometimes to play around. Like I went and actually did the whole master quest for my weapon and learned how to speak dragon. I did that in 4 hours. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast doing
Learn
that.
to speak what?
Dragon.
Yeah, my friends used to. Well, my friend Brian, who is the person that was playing EverQuest when it first came out, I was the roommate that was an active duty Marine, and he was like, "Oh my god, I learned how to speak dragon!" Like when you ran into another race, you didn't automatically know the language that they were speaking. You had to learn it.
Yeah. I had to kill giants because giants were the only ones that could speak dragon and get manuscripts from them to learn how to speak it. And then I had to go talk to and do a bunch of quests. It was all for my master weapon and spell ability. It was so much fun. A lot of traveling, a lot of going all over Norath.
Dragon.
It's there. It's in game. It's doable. I did it. I speak to dragons.
I'm pretty sure I'm on Butcher Block too. I just don't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dragon.
So they were talking about SOE's profitability, and I think Neurotoxin said in channel that SOE was profitable as of the end of 2014, and I think that he's also gone on the record, and I don't have the quote available to me, but he had said something along the lines of that PlayStation 2 was their most profitable game, and that they made more money. Or no, okay, but it was their most profitable.
You said PlayStation 2 again, and I'm pretty sure that you mean the game and not...
Right, PlanetSide 2, not PlayStation 2. Sorry. Anyway, so that was one of my other thoughts, was that if their most profitable game is available on the PC and it's being ported to the PlayStation 4 so that now you can play it on a console, as a game development company, wouldn't you want it to be on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, Defiance, I brought it up just a few minutes ago, is that Defiance is, like, now I understand why Tryon has Defiance, even though it might be a smaller title. It's because it's on the Xbox, it's on the PlayStation, it's on the personal computer, and it's tied into media. And so they have all of these different things going on all at the same time. So even if you only have a fraction of the PC market and a fraction of the Xbox market and a fraction of the PlayStation market, like, you put all those fractions together and it's like, hey, that is a profitable working title, and we see no reason to give up on that. And that's like, PlanetSide 2 could easily do that. H1Z1 can easily do that.
Yep. I agree, especially since I could say this, like, H1Z1 would be one of those games that on a console I think is possible, viable, and I think it would just make them buku dollars, because there's no DayZ on a console. There's none of that yet. Like, and that, like, coming from a person has consoles, and if I could sit on my couch and kind of just like do a zombie survival game where it's actually survival, not like a Resident Evil or any other weird zombie game.
Yeah, and that was what I was thinking. Like, even if you really like Resident Evil on the PlayStation or the Xbox, how many people do you play with cooperatively at the same time?
You can't yourself.
Exactly, and that's where you know where you want to tap those social communities that are out there and be like, why play this game and play by yourself when you can play on this game and play with all your friends and play, you know, on a PvP server, so it's your friends against somebody that you don't know. You can play on a PvE server. Like, those sort of things are like all of a sudden become really hugely attractive to large audiences.
Yeah, it's a great way to make money. I mean, it opens up their realm of possibility to just bring in extra money, because I know people that have Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s. Like, my friend has a PlayStation 4, my other friend has an Xbox One. My friend's like, oh, cool, PlanetSide 2's coming. I'm going to play it on my PlayStation 4. And then I know my friend has Xbox One. He downloaded Defiant. He was like, Defiance. He was like, I'm going to try it out, man. It's free. There's no... Like, what does it hurt? It doesn't hurt anything. And I think that something like if something like H1Z1 or if Landmark or anything else, like, or PlanetSide 2 hit the market on Xbox, like, especially Xbox One, people love Halo and first person shooters, and like that especially on Xbox One, that'll just zoom. I can see that, like, just taking off and just people having a field day with that.
All right, so I follow Jimmy Wisenhunt and Adam Clegg on Twitter, and I'm going to have to go back to a horrible memory and think of the Super Bowl.
Oh, God.
But one of the things that they were tweeting about was during the Super Bowl, you did not see a World of Warcraft commercial. You saw a Clash of Clans. Or it was Clash of Clans, right? With commercial, which is a mobile game. And both of them said that, like, if they, like, you know what, screw the H1Z1, maybe they should start writing those type of pay-to-win games for the mobile market, because that is, honestly, it's the largest population, the largest, you know, market. And they, you know, and again, even if only a tiny fraction of people are spending on that market, like, that huge market with that tiny bit of spending equals big bucks. And,
it does.
And I think that even Smedley, even after they announced the announcement that they're now Daybreak, it's like he's excited to get into that mobile market.
Yeah, because it's a moneymaker. Even people in the gaming industry and market industry have even asked Nintendo, you don't go into, like, you have iconic characters, you would make great, like, little party game, like, on the go party games. It's a great idea. You make pretty decent mobile games, like a touch game would be great from you guys. Nintendo's like, no, like, we don't want to do it. So, like, I'm like, why not? Like, it's just a moneymaker. You can make so much, like, you can play Final Fantasy 3 on your mobile. Like, on my iPhone, I can go get it $10. I can go play Final Fantasy 3 on the go, wherever I want. Final Fantasy 3. And I'm excited. That's so excited. I want to do that. I'm not going to spend $11 on it, but I can go do it if I wanted to.
Right. Like, if you think about the processing power in your phone right now compared to, like, the first Final Fantasy game, it's like, and I haven't looked into it, but isn't there an emulator where you can, like, port ROMs and play Final Fantasy on your phone?
Yeah. There are emulators on which you can download and play these games on the internet. I wouldn't search Google for it, but there is a possibility of doing it. Nothing was said behind my hand. Or get an Ouya.
Wow.
So, but yeah, even if they don't want to go the pay-to-win route, one of Blizzard's one of their big games right now, and I'm making the statement that Hearthstone is Blizzard's biggest game right now, simply because when I watched BlizzCon, the people watching the Hearthstone tournament outnumbered the Warcraft tournament and StarCraft 2 tournament put together. More people were watching people play Hearthstone than any of Blizzard's other titles. And so, if you've watched the video for Hearthstone, like the real life trailers, Hearthstone is not exactly pay to win, but it is a play to make the game a whole lot easier to play. Because as it is, like, if you're not spending any money, it's a tough game to play. But, like, I tweeted it out, like, why don't they make Legends of Norath 2, the card game, and put it on the mobile market and say, hey, here's your rare cards and spend a couple bucks to get the rare card? Because it's not like, this isn't. Does it sound like it would be hard to do? Does it sound like it would be fun and interesting if it was a free-to-play game that you could download on your tablet? Hell yeah, I'd do it.
I love that Flatus and I are both like,
Yes. I say very much that. I think we even talked about it a little bit the other day. I was like, as soon as they announced Daybreak, I was like, I wish they will take Legends of Norath, update it with the new art, the EQN art, and make a new card game. Legends of Norath is kind of fun. It's an interesting. The mechanics are interesting. You can do quests or you can attack your player, and you have two sides. So you can do quests on either side, and then you attack like the other person's questing people. Like Tober and I played that game. It's not as easy as Hearthstone, but once you figure out the strategy, that game is a lot of fun. And if they want to update it, make it a little easier, like Snowman Wolk actually said, like the downside to making a microtransaction heavy mobile, you don't have to make it microtransaction heavy. Just look at a Hearthstone. It's not microtransaction heavy. It's just you need to figure out how to make a fun game and make it what you could do to sell it. I see people do Twitch streams that are like, I'm opening up 80 Hearthstone packs today. Come watch. And people are donating. I kid you not. I've seen people donate $80 to people on Twitch to watch them spend $80 in Hearthstone to open up packs. I clearly am in the wrong line of work, because if all I do is open up, anybody in chat want to give me money, I'll go open up Hearthstone packs right now and make little jokes. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now after this show. You come give me your money, I'll go open up all the cards you want.
I didn't really play the Norath game, the card game within EQ2. It was within EQ2, wasn't it?
You can get it through EQ2.
It was like inside the game, right?
Yes, and you can get it outside the game as well, as a separate little download.
Well, I didn't really play it, but I enjoyed collecting the cards, just because that's the way I am.
And it gave you free stuff in the game. And I think you've also, because I am a subscriber, you get 5 free card packs a month. So, like, that's that kind of, like, if you didn't want to spend money on card packs...
Gladys is a subscriber.
Hold that thought.
I swear to God, if this episode makes me snort coffee out of my nose like the last episode made me do, I quit.
I know, she was about to drop.
It's fine.
She was about to drop. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. No, like I think it's cool, and I think that, like, especially if it's a mobile game, if I could take it on my tablet or take it on my phone or whatever and be on the go, and I like, all right, here's my $15, but I get 5 free cards. But someone like, let's say, like Tanlin, who doesn't sub, then he can get, like, all right, I did my quest and I got some coins or plat. I got plat in game. I could buy a couple card packs, or you know what? I got $2 extra to spare. Boop boop. Let me buy 2 packs. See what I get.
Let me just say that no, I don't want it on my iPad or my Kindle or my iPhone. I don't like mobile devices at all. Why would and I might have bought the same app on all 3.
That is another thing to consider, like getting that multiple purchase downloads for the different devices. But yeah, I'm one of those type of guys that, like, I have a job where I sit around a lot. It would be nice to have an EverQuest or Norath themed, or even as Legendary said, like, I want to bring this up, that Legendary brought that it would be great for Daybreak Studios to take their different genres of their game and incorporate it all into one collectible card game, so that you could have, like, the victory is our tradition going off on zombies and elves. That would be cool. I would love to, and then I have it on my phone, and I can take it to work with me and play it a little bit.
What is going on in chat?
Nothing.
Shilling is a form of currency. Old British currency.
People are. Baby Cannon was like, I can't afford. I'd give money. I have no money, but if Flatus does a strip card pack opening, I'll find people to donate. And then then all of a sudden people are like, Flatus should do a Hodor cosplay and open card packs and what is going on? And then somebody else is like, Flatus cleavage, YOLO. What is
Hold on. Would people donate money to me to open card packs if I dressed up like Brass? I'd totally dress up as Brass.
I feel like we don't want to ask our audience what they would pay to see us do.
Oh shit!
Like this is a bad.
I never asked. They started telling me they wanted to see me naked.
No!
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Listen, if you message me on Twitch or talk to me on Twitter. Don't. We'll talk.
So,
Talon, you want to take control back of the show? It's gonna get weird.
not really. Well, we've talked about all the good about Daybreak getting now bought out. So here's where I want to throw out that, and we've tossed about a few ideas about what could be the worst thing that happens now that a different company owns Daybreak and it is no longer SOE.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm looking for a reason to blame.
Well, so and I'll throw it out there right now. One of the reasons why SOE was confident in their push to go to a free to play system was because they had a strong belief in their community and they wanted to be like, come play with our community. And they've said it before that other players are they consider their players as part of their content. Like when you log in to play EverQuest and EverQuest 2, part of what is drawing you into it, or at least in SOE's practice so far, is that you're playing with other people that are good people when it comes to EverQuest. PlanetSide 2, it's the same sort of thing. They can allow that game to be a free-to-play title because when you're logging in to play PlanetSide 2, you're not playing just by yourself or with your team of 10. You're playing on a continent that's massive, and you're playing on a side that might have 200 or 300 players all fighting for control in different sectors. So that again, it's like the economy of size of whatever. So only if a fraction of those players are actually paying for the game through microtransactions or through an all access pass, it makes it better for the rest of the players. And I think my biggest concern is that now that there is someone else that Daybreak has to answer to that's not Sony, maybe they have to really keep pushing that community is part of our gaming. Community is part of our gaming. No, you can't make this decision because community is part of our gaming. And I'm going to go point back to that ugly sore of Star Wars Galaxies and when they went with the new gaming experience, that the developers underestimated the impact that their gameplay changes would have on the community. And they didn't, and at that time, SOE didn't understand the type of effect that it would have. And now, as Daybreak may be put into another situation where the people who are forcing their hand don't understand, like you don't understand. Our community will not like this change, and we have to keep our community satisfied, because that's one of the things that we feel as in one of the features that we offer is that community aspect of gaming.
I completely agree. I think that it's one of those times where I think it's interesting that a company like SOE or now Daybreak, that they would switch to being a independent company. I think that it gives them more flexibility. I think that it maybe allows them more to be on that. We want to be open as a company. Maybe Sony wasn't too keen on like, you guys can't be that open. You can't. And maybe they want to be. Maybe they want to be a little more open with us. I can understand not saying anything about Daybreak, because that is more of a behind this, like that's a deal that was going on, and maybe they're just not ready to talk about the whole deal yet. Especially because they kind of had to hit the ground running and starting up a new company like the day after.
Yeah, and that was speaking of that was one of those things that we were having an interesting conversation, because I don't like I'm not I'm not a day trader. I don't know the stock market. I don't know SEC laws. But when it comes to like Sony being a publicly held company, it might have been against the law for them to talk about this news before it actually happened, because it infects investors. Because like investors are very, very smart people when it comes to money, and any sort of news like that, if they think it's good news, they might invest in it, which changes like, and that's where you like, there's confidence, and that's what Martha Stewart got busted for, was that's what it's called, insider trading, right? Like SOE might not have been allowed to talk about it even with their own employers, because it's an inside trading type of agreement. Whether or not like that's actually the truth, that's just me speculating. Like it might have blindsided them, and maybe only Smedley knew about it behind closed door meetings with his boss.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm sort of wondering, Columbus Nova. Definitely not a real name.
It's just an investment, not even, I forget what they call it, an investment firm, right? They take people's money and they buy things that they think are profitable. And again, I think that's why this is great news for Daybreak, is because there was an investment company that looked at this Sony Online Entertainment and said, yeah, that's profitable. It's worth owning because it will return an investment. If they didn't think that they could make money off of it, they wouldn't have touched it. And so that's not my concern at all. My concern is that that like, not in the immediate future, but a couple, years down the road, they'll be like, you know what? You're not making as much money as we think that you should be. So why don't you change this, and this to become more profitable? And that's where I think that they might lose focus on the community aspect of it.
Yeah, that could happen. I mean, let's see. What's the name again? Something Nova?
Columbus Nova.
Columbus Nova. They own Fiverr, which is a great a great website. Fiverr is kind of a cool website.
I've used it.
Yeah, Fiverr's cool. They own Rhapsody. They bailed out Harmonix when Harmonix was going into bankruptcy. They invested in Harmonix, and now Harmonix is doing really well. Harmonix did all the Rock Band games, and now they do the Let's Dance games. And people love Let's Dance. Like they can release a new Let's Dance tomorrow, and people line up and be like, "I gotta dance to the new Britney."
It's totally
Gaga.
true.
It totally, like, it might have, like, the hype level might have crashed from where it was like 5-10 years ago, but like it's still a great party game, and maybe you need to buy the new DLC because you want the new songs that have come out since the last time you had a dance party at your place.
Yeah.
Rock Band is so much fun.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
It's a game where you put it on your console and you use one of those cool camera connect things, and you dance in front of the thing, and it tracks your body and it teaches you how to dance.
I've literally never heard of this before.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but it makes buku bucks because people love it, because they're like,
I know what Rock Band is.
Yeah, no, and they hit it out of the park again with Let's Dance, because people are like, because Rock Band is like, because now Rocksmith is out and it lets you just plug a real guitar in and you can let you learn how to play guitar, so that kind of like, once you can do that, then people are like, well, what do I need the plastic one for? So Let's Dance is like, you can lose weight because you're dancing and you can do it, and it actually kind of teaches you how to dance, and people are like, I got to dance. Woo!
You can probably lose weight. You said it's a party game, right? You probably lose weight better if you're not drinking and eating drunk pizza.
Well,
no, it's also a party game because it's something that you can, like, you get scored.
That would be me, by the way.
You get scored and you can play against other people, or you can play cooperatively, and so you're in front of the TV watching yourself dance, and it's it's music and dancing. That isn't that like ingredients to party?
I feel like you would need alcohol to play that game. I feel like it's necessary.
I do not need alcohol to dance. And if you have any doubts, you just go ask any of the guys who watched me dance at SOE Live.
Or me. He totally dances.
She might be biased.
What? Why do I have to ask a bunch of guys?
I consumed copious amounts of alcohol before that happened.
He was totally sober, and it took me to be totally okay. So funniest story. Tamlin doesn't drink, and I do, but he doesn't care that I drink. I've been with Tamlin for 5 years, almost. We're very, very close to 5 total years now. I've hula danced for more than 15 years. This man has never in his entire life seen me dance at all. Ever. Until last SOE Live, and I was really drunk.
Is there video?
There is. Not
of him dancing, not of me dancing.
But I've never seen the video. I just know that it's out there.
Yeah, and you want to know who took the video?
Oh, yes. Who do I need to track down?
Brad Powers.
Done. Brad, you in here, buddy? Nope, but I will find him. I will find Brad and I will get that video.
Alright, so one of my other concerns, and I'll throw the links in channel as soon as I'm done getting this out, is that
I propose an EverCast show rock band episode to show solidarity with the new parent company. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
That's what Coin and Cleavage said. Sorry. I apologize.
So I think that we are all familiar with Game Workshop. It's an UK-based company. They do Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. They occasionally license their. Oh, there was an MMO. There was the Warhammer MMO that was out for a long time, right? And but mostly they're known as being a miniature war game company, right? They produce their little plastic miniatures. You paint them all up, and you go to war with your friends. Now, Games Workshop went public probably like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And they are no longer their own company. They are owned by a bunch of stockholders, and they have a board of directors. And this is another thing that, like, it's my oh my god, things could possibly get this bad. I don't think it will, but you're just like throwing out like what could possibly go wrong with this. And I'm going to read you from this is the letter that they sent out to their investors, in the people that own stocks in their company. And I want to ask my hosts and the people listening, if this doesn't like strike you as a little bit wrong and odd and something that would be terrifying if Daybreak did. Quote, "Our market is a niche market made of people who want to collect our miniatures. They tend to be male, middle-class, discerning teenagers, and adults. We do not do demographic research. We have no focus groups. We do not ask what the market wants. These things are a twist and a niche."
They are dumb and don't want to make money.
Girls game, dude.
Yeah, so like we can dissect that statement in like 2 or 3 different ways. Like, they assume that they know their audience, and they assume that it's male, and you know what? And that, like, in producing your product for that market, you're basically like saying that half of the population of the world doesn't matter. And it just, like, that again, like, I don't think that Daybreak is going to go down that road, but it's terrifying to think that, you know, when other people are making the decisions and they have no, like, they aren't part of the SOE family that has been along since like 1999, like, what type of, you know, expectations do they walk in with, and how far off the mark could they be? And then, like, they're since they're so far off the mark, they influence decisions, and it's like,
Yeah, I like that they're in touch with us as community members, because they kind of know, like, if we say something, like, let's think about where Landmark was when it started to where Landmark is now, since it kind of had a birthday and everything. Like, how much do you think us as players influence Landmark? They didn't know about microvoxels. They didn't.
Yeah. Okay. If you mean by that, if you mean like creatively, like
Yeah.
discovering things that voxels can do, a ton.
Yeah, but then when you think about it, though, like on top of the voxels, yeah, we help them creatively, which leads into EQN. But also on top of it, like, you don't think they're doing market research that way too, to see like what are people buying on the store, what are people looking at, like what are people create, like they're looking at all that and like it was a playground for them. Like it wasn't originally supposed to be for us, and then they were like, we'll release it to the masses. We gave them tons of things. Voxelmancy all of a sudden came up, and then we started opening up the game more for them. And then they can start looking at like what are people making, what do they want? They want bigger bag space. Like then they started learning what to market towards us. Costumes,
Right.
Packs to start your game off, so you can start off right away.
I think that we have had an influence on them, because you see a lot of sci-fi builds in Landmark right now. And you see a lot of then SOE makes a lot of sci-fi props. They're like, hey, we've got a lot of people that are playing the game, and this is what they're doing with it, and how can we support them? Oh, this is the things that they're asking for, more sci-fi props. Because they also threw it out there, like, you can make almost any genre of building that you can think of in Landmark, but not as many people are making modern stuff. I think the only modern stuff that we've seen have been, like, the microwave and the toaster.
And the bathroom stuff.
Oh, and the bathroom stuff. But like, look at that. Look at how much modern props they put in the game compared to how much fantasy stuff and science fiction stuff. And I think that that's because they're going with the direction that their community is telling them.
Well, also, and to be fair, EQN is going to be fantasy, and they needed all that stuff for EQN anyway.
Yeah.
I think that they had already started working on that stuff to show us different things for EQN, and they just gave it to us in Landmark.
That's fair. We could see definitely see some of those props in EQN, but like the sci-fi stuff, that wasn't. I don't think that was there's no like is there gonna be a spaceship in EQN? Because if there is,
right?
I want to see it. Unless we're talking about the one Kinos from EverQuest 1, the weird spaceship UFO.
Well, that's how Dark Elves get back from the Umbra, right?
Yeah.
They show up on their spaceship.
They were abducted by aliens. That's what Umbra is, obviously.
Well,
confirmed.
That portal,
confirmed.
That portal, it wasn't ultra dimensional. It was just like, beam me up, Scotty.
Totally.
People.
Dark Elves are aliens. Hashtag confirmed.
Wow.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's so nice to face it. Oh my god.
All right, so we got about 8 minutes till break. And we come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about a conversation that Flatus and Lucy were having on Twitter. It continued on after they had finished it up, and I thought that it was interesting, especially with H1Z1 coming out. But before we get, that's me teasing it, so come back. We'll talk about server rules. But before we finish, final thoughts on the Daybreak buyout, or excuse me, the Columbus Nova purchase of Sony Online, causing it or rebranding it as Daybreak.
I think don't panic. Wait and see. They've never let us down before. Everything's going to be fine.
I will not go so far as to say they've never let me down before.
All right. They've never let me down with Landmark. How's that?
I still won't go that far. I will say that I'm not panicking because while I don't necessarily agree with some of the decisions that have pissed me off in the past, I at least understand from a business aspect why the decisions in the past were made. So this is not a thing that I can take personal. They're doing it for the good of their business, and all of the bad decisions in my perspective that they've made have been for good business reasons. So they're making a business decision. I don't feel the need to panic.
I will say this. I know a majority, if not all, especially John Smedley, they all play video games. Like they're big gamers. And if you ever watch EverCracked or any of the well, I don't know if you guys remember G4 TV, but they had a show that kind of like went into the history of games. One of them was EverQuest. John Smedley is a big gamer. Like he ushered in the 3D modern MMO and with EverQuest, and the guy is not gonna. He seems like the type of guy that won't give up on his company just because they aren't making enough money. He seems like the type of guy that says, you know what, if you guys aren't going to support us, I will find someone that does. And I think that's a good thing. I think from a business aspect, it's great. I think from a us as the player aspect, it's great. I think that a lot of the people that work there needed to see that they needed more freedom in what they were making. And I think they have that freedom now. And I think that's going to be a good thing for EQN. I think it's going to be a great thing for H1Z1. And H1Z1, I can tell you right now, is H1Z1 is a fantastic game. Like is so good. Like bug wise, not many bugs. It's got bugs. Don't get me wrong. It has bugs, but like it's solid. It is pretty solid. I'm having a blast. I've played it almost every single night this week with everybody. To say the least. I think I've logged in over 60, 70, 80 hours in that game already. Oh no. Alright, we're back, I think. Let's let video go out for a second. And it's good stuff. I think it's good things, and I think that where they're going to start going now towards the future, I think is all good. And I think the stuff like the fanfare that may be happening in August, and Brass even saying on Facebook and other places that, you know, she was all for a fan run thing. I think that shows like how much they love us as community and their players. So.
All right. Was that everybody? I was going to go last because I have videos to introduce. All me. Again, I think it's a huge step forward for Daybreak. I look forward to seeing all of the mobile games that they're going to be producing in the next decade. I can't wait to see their games that they have now get ported onto more consoles. Because I think that Defiance has it right. You have you get on as many platforms as you can, and you have a strong, well, not even a strong, and you have a media presence on a non-game type stuff. And I think that Daybreak needs to get a hold of their EverQuest IP, all of it, and start really pushing that franchise in like the e-novels are great. I think that they can do more with that, like even after the game launches, to do books and stories and stuff that don't affect the game, but at least give you something to do that isn't gaming all the time. And the other thing is that I hope that Daybreak now has the resources to get a launcher going and get an authenticator. So yeah, that's that. The videos for the break I have. We're gonna take I think it's about an 8-minute break. How to introduce this? I'm kind of a math dork. I do metrology. That's my living. That's the science of measurement, which is like this weird thing because it's like, is an inch or whatever. But there is a YouTuber called Vihart. She does a whole lot of fractal and math stuff. If you ever get bored, look her up on YouTube. It's Vihart, Vihart. You'll get entertained and learn a little bit about math. This is 2 little videos that she does about hexaflexagons. I didn't tell.
Oh my god, I love the hexaflexagons.
I didn't tell Kai that I was going to play these videos, but
oh my god, I love the hexaflexagons.
The hexaflexagons are really cool. So, who wants to camp us out?
I know what you're talking about. I love hexaflexagons. I'm excited. I want to camp. I can camp us out if
Why
you want.
you Gladys, please? I'm
All right. Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.